Hi, everybody. We're just having a little bit of issues that Courtney could not hear me, which was kind of weird. Can everyone hear me? Am I am I working? I don't know if anyone's even watching. Maybe if I open. It's unfortunate. Okay, you sound great. Thank you so much. That is not on my end at least. So, whew, at least I have something there. Now I'm going to move my camera over a little bit so that I'm in the center again, which is what I had everything perfect. And now, okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. Courtney's going to log off and log back in again because she could not hear me. And that made it kind of hard for a collab if she can't hear me. I could hear her fine. So welcome to my live stream. Hello, everybody. Hello, Happy Hippie. Hello, Jackie J. Hello, Seeker of Truth. Hello, Laurie Elderkin. Hello, Robert V. Adventures. So this is going to be just basically it's me and Corey just talking and going to talk about different things. But the goal of this video is to remain judgment-free. There are no wrong answers. We are discussing these topics using our opinions. To understand a topic, we need to study it from new and unfamiliar viewpoints. This can involve thinking in ways that are not used to and might require you to accept ideas that are not in alignment with your own core beliefs. This discussion will be concepts and core beliefs and will come from our own personal perceptions. We are not concerned with traditional definitions, book discussions, information from the internet, or what others believe is actually true. We are willing to listen to our own beliefs and to our own guts instincts. So that's the idea of this video, that we're going to discuss ideas and concepts that might disagree with some people. And I just want everyone to able to accept that, there are different beliefs, and some things we discuss may not even be part of our own core beliefs. It just might be us looking at something from a different perspective. And I want everyone to be willing to trust your own gut instincts and intuition. So if we say something that disagrees with you, I'm okay with you talking about it as long as you're not judgmental to other people in the chat or other people discussing below the video after the fact. What do we really believe? That's the thing. We have many beliefs, and we're always confronted by our own beliefs daily. And that's the thing, is that you have to accept that you have beliefs and other people have their beliefs. And even if you have two diametrically opposed beliefs, it's okay that you can accept someone else who have their own belief and be good with it. And that's just fine. So that was my idea. And then I don't see Courtney. So Courtney has not popped up. So I don't know. Messages. She wants to try to connect on YouTube. That doesn't work like that. Yeah, unfortunately, we're working on the fly right now. I don't understand what the problem is. This is unfortunate. Unfortunately, oh, there she is. She's there, and boom. So
and guess what, Lucky? I can hear you.
Well, that is wonderful. Everything happens for a reason. That is absolutely fabulous.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
No, this is all part. We needed more people to come. We needed more time. 13 minutes. That's all we needed for people to come and, make themselves. So welcome to our live stream, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for having issues. So basically, I was just discussing my idea that this is just a judgment-free zone where we can express our ideas. We can have conceptual. We can look at different things and accept each other's core beliefs as they are. And if we say something that we disagree with, we can have a pleasant discussion and allow each other to have our own beliefs without affecting us individually.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think I'm with you there. And I think whatever we're going to talk about tonight, because this is a surprise for me, all the questions and what we're talking about. I think too, some of the stuff might not have like a right answer. It's just what we got, what we think. You
Well,
know.
that's the thing is the having a right answer is easy, but when others think they know the right answer,
Mm, yeah,
that is where things get kind of weird.
yeah,
So, and if I have a right answer and you have a right answer and they seem different, it just might be a viewpoint issue,
yeah. It could
which
be
is
they're
which
both
is
right.
which
Yeah,
is which is the most important thing is that are you willing to listen to your beliefs and opinion of others, even if they are opposed to your own core beliefs? Are you willing to trust your gut instinct and intuition? Are you willing to freely discuss these topics from your personal perspective without the need to know or even understand the traditional definitions? And that's one of the things is that a lot of people, especially with dream interpretations, need a book.
mm,
Oh, what does the book say it means? And a lot of these things, I mean, I might have my own opinion. It might be the book definition of ghost or the internet version of ghost. But for me, I have my version of ghost, and it might be different than yours. But again, it's okay, and we have to
yeah,
go with our
yeah.
own traditional what we believe to go from there, and then have an open discussion. Because if we disagree, it just might be our own, perspectives. Okay, are you willing? Are you ready for this adventure?
I have to say, Lucky, I'm sure you did a great introduction. Hi, folks, whoever's here. It's weird not seeing the chat or whatnot, which I'm actually groovy with because then I can focus on what you're talking about, Lucky. I don't see the chat. I'm in a,
You
I'm
don't
like
see the
totally, no, dude, I'm in a white box right now. It's wild. It's fine. We're groovy as long as I'm here and I can hear you. So it's just interesting
that is
how,
weird.
yeah,
I
like,
don't know. Wow.
and for you to kind of be running the show here, I like it. I
Yeah.
like having a Friday off. I like having that I can just say whatever I'm gonna say. So am
Oh,
I
look at that.
willing? Oh wow. Now, hello everyone.
That is different. I wasn't
That's
expecting to get
different.
that view, but that's okay.
It's
Okay.
groovy with me. Everything's cool. I think I said on my program, Stars of the Morning Light, I am seriously just letting go right now. And heck, maybe this stuff coming out of my mouth, I believe, I don't believe, I don't know. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. So, yeah, I'm ready. Lucky, I guess hit me with whatever you got, Lucky, because it's different
Okay.
that we're doing this on your channel, which I really enjoy. I
Yeah.
love you taking the reins. This is making me happy.
So, what is an interdimensional entity? What is it?
That's your just first.
I want you to tell
That's
me
your deadpan
in
like. Ugh.
2 sentences or less, what is an interdimensional deity or
Okay,
entity, not deity,
entity. Okay,
entity.
an interdimensional entity is a being that can travel between the dimensions. I mean, that would be like the shortest version definition I have.
It
Yeah,
makes sense. It makes sense. But
yeah.
what is an elemental?
Oh, that is a being that was created here and is a part of the earth. Not so much. They can move in within dimensions because Gaia has also other dimensions, but it's not like they're moving from planet to planet or dimensions that are so far out from Gaia. They're Earth based. They're all Earth based. So you're can they move in and out of dimensions? Some can, some can't. Earth based. That's the shortest version I can say too. Earth based. So
So what's the difference? What's the difference between the interdimensional being and an elemental.
Well, an interdimensional being doesn't have to be Earth based, and
It's
an
a,
elemental would be Earth based.
so can an elemental be an interdimensional?
Yes, and an interdimensional can also be an elemental, but more. I mean, okay. Here's an example, like Sasquatch. This is where everybody knows a Bigfoot. It's a both. It's an interdimensional, but also Earth based being. So therefore, you have both sides going on within that one being. But then you can have interdimensional beings that are not Earth based. When I say based, I mean like how we're created of the Earth, the carbon, the Earth, right? So are they. Opposed to, let's say, a being from like the astral comes into play here on the Earth. That's not an Earth-based being. So was that making sense using the Bigfoot thing?
No, it makes total sense to me, but I also don't think there's one kind of Bigfoot, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
What makes an elemental evil? How would you define and how would you understand an evil elemental? How would you know an elemental is evil?
Okay, so we're gonna have to probably start a discussion on this one. Just roll with it, Lucky. And I see you like this.
No, I'm thinking there's so many aspects to this. It's hard to capture these, but I want these. The idea of this video is to introduce other people into some of these concepts.
Oh, okay, okay,
This is this is
yeah,
this is not college level. This is elementary school. So other people that catch this go, okay.
okay,
Because a lot of people are
okay,
afraid to ask these questions because they don't want to seem silly, you know.
yeah, okay, cool. Now I know the intention of every. Okay, um, so what you asked? What makes
What makes
an
an elemental evil?
Well, not all elementals are evil. We gotta start there,
Well,
right?
well, that's the thing is that you're saying that there. Well, that's another thing we need to define that there are good elementals and there are evil elementals.
Yeah.
So there's only two kinds.
Well, no, because there's evil people and
No,
good
no, no.
people, and then there's like
We're not talking about people. We're talking about
Well, I
elementals.
know, but it doesn't. It's not black and white for them either. It's not necessarily black and white for them like that. I mean, there's multiple groups, even within. Let's say, okay, so let's take fairies. I'm trying to keep this very basic then, because now I know. So let's
So
talk
fairies
fairies.
are elementals.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
fairies are elementals.
Well, like they are a subgroup of the fae that is of the elemental variety. Yeah.
So are you saying that not all fae are elemental, or are you saying all faes are elementals?
No, some faes are half breeds. So let's get back to the good and bad part. So let's just look at stories from history. You're going to have stories about fairies that are semi decent. Then you're going to have stories about fairies that are just the middle road. Then you're going to have stories that are, about fairies that actually do the whole changeling thing and take your babies. So that's all these different stories are there to show us that there's some that are bad, right? There's some that are just middle of the road. They're just living their life like the rest of those on earth. And then there's some that are good that might help. So that goes across the board with any being. Any being. It's not, so there are bad ones and there are good ones, and then there's middle of the road ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's this like I said, this is I'm more challenging you to help others understand because my concepts are I don't good and bad to me are like this when I think most things are like in the middle anywhere anyway. So being defined as
Right,
good or bad is
right. So and
yeah.
that all beings are that. Okay,
I
all
don't think
beings
so.
fall into something. You know what I mean? Like you and I
No,
are
I don't.
middle of the road, like all well, you put on here angels. Do you think there's good angels and bad angels?
No.
So there's just they're the all everything is the middle of the road.
No, because in order to say that there are so the definitions we're getting into, what do I think? I don't think there's bad anything. I think we bring the bad out. But that's again way down the list of things that we can discuss. This is an
Mm,
evolution thing where
okay.
I believe that humans are kind of the aspect, they bring the negative, the evil out, while for the most part, most elementals and most interdimensionals, they just don't care about humans. At which point, but if they're curious, they might help us. But again, I don't think elementals or interdimensionals can be classified as good or bad because I don't think we're that important to them. And if we are important
Hmm.
to them, they're more interested and curious of us. But
Okay.
then the demons, I don't think demons are interdimensional or elementals. I think demons and angels are something wholly different.
Okay, so now I'm understanding where you were going coming with that question as to how does an elemental become evil or bad? That was your question before I brought up fairies and whatnot, right?
Yeah. I was dragging you into my own personal perspective, but
Okay.
unfortunately, I wasn't asking the question in the right way. But that's the idea of this. Idea is for you to express yourself and for others to hear from your perspective.
Oh, okay. Well, so here's the thing. Um, there are multiple different kinds of elementals. And so I understand your approach of um, they don't think about us too often or they don't interact or this and that. Some of them, feed off of other things, right? They
Yeah,
feed off of
that's
other things, right? So some of them would be feeding off of us. So some people would refer to that as bad. So that's where you get the concepts of now, it's just that being's nature to do so, but some of them are big bad mamma jammas that if they choose you as a target, I know a lovely family that has an elemental that is a bad mamma jamma in their home and they can't do anything about it. And that family is a target. That elemental's feeding very well. Trust me. So they're but and so to us, it's bad. To that elemental, it's doing what it does. It's doing its nature, right? It's just doing its nature, like animals. When we see two animals attack, oh man, gruesome. It can look horrible, but those are also just doing their nature. So it's the label thing that people get caught up on because it's just doing what it does. But do I want to be in the crossfire? Do I want to be the one that it chooses? No. So we do kind of have to, you know, I don't like labels, but to explain things to people, it does help. So there are elementals out there that it is a part of their makeup that they feed off of things, opposed to other elementals that no, they don't care about you. They don't. They're not. They're just doing their life. They don't need you, right? And then there's also things have been here for a very long time. Been here for a very long time. I mean, there are stories that come out of like the Middle East. I love all of the jinn stories out of the Middle East because that's their title for all this different stuff. Some of those stories, and those things have been around since the beginning of time. They would say they're bad, some would say they're good. They have the jinn that like help people during war. And then they have ones that definitely, well, some say they kill. So I guess you're putting a human perspective on good and bad when it's the nature of that jinn or that elemental. So it's hard to at some point we do have to be able to explain things. We have to put some kind of title on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand. I have a list of all the elementals and interdimensionals, and Jin Jin was not one of them, unfortunately. So I missed
Well,
something.
Jinn is just the title from mostly the Middle East area. That is just the title that they give all sorts of stuff. It could be interdimensionals. It could be elementals. That's kind of just their overcap word of say it's like equal to like paranormal activity, that kind of thing.
I don't know, the videos for Jin in the Middle East are very violent and something that I'm not used to.
Yeah, dude. Well, but stop and think about that though, please, because there we have native stories here in the US that can be just as violent. And often we forget how long this world has been, and we don't actually even know the exact time. So imagine if you were probably created before all humans, and then you might have to get pushed out because of the humans. Or you see how horrible the humans are, and you're just thinking, man, just take them all out, right? Imagine having to live alongside all of what we know of history, and they predate it. So we got to have a little compassionate towards them too. I mean, there's stories all over the place as to there were bad ones at the beginning, and kind of like giants. I'm going to use an example of giants. That's not giants are not necessarily elementals, but I'm going to use that example because you have most people in the world that think that all giants were bad guys. All giants are bad. When there's documented stories and other forms of documentation that state that not all giants were bad, especially here with the natives in the US. Now, some, yeah, the natives had to fight, but then some, the natives helped them. Odin, I mean, think of Odin when the French, I can't remember the name of the French guy that found the last like Odin tribe. It was a French explorer. Well, there was a tribe that he found, and they were still huge people. And this tribe is living in a whole lot of function and harmony and peace. He's the one that learned about Odin and then taught the rest of the world when he got back, right? These people were still very big, and they were helping not just their tribe, but also the surrounding tribes with a lot of things. So I'm just saying there's a lot of every time you have a plus you also probably have a minus somewhere, every time something new is created or something else dissolves, it's the in, the out, the end, and the beginning. Wow, that was a lot, wasn't it, Lucky? I'm sorry.
And that's just elementals.
Oh, that's all I'm saying. I could keep going about elementals.
But that's the thing, is that interdimensionals the same idea, where they can be neutral, they can be good, they can be
Hmm.
bad. Are
Hmm.
interdimensionals the gambit too, or are
Yes.
they mostly from let's go with a human point of view. From a human point of
Okay.
view, would interdimensionals be more good or more bad?
Would they be more good or would they be more bad?
For let's general wise, let's just say
Because I really want to say they're just the middle of the road, most of
which
them.
which is probably the best answer, because again, you're interdimensional.
Yeah.
We're for the most part stuck in our 3, 4, and 5 if we can get there. Mostly 3. While interdimensionals, they can do any of them. So
Yes.
are we that important to them? Are we significant to the whole scheme of things?
Oh, sorry. That just yes. Why?
Oh,
If
we are insignificant. You're
we
saying that humans
are,
are insignificant to
yes.
the whole
No,
scheme of
no, no.
things.
We are significant. Everything is significant. Everything is. Ev- Everything is. That's weird to. I can't. I don't know what to say because that's just kind of a weird. That's very foreign for me to think about that.
That you think that humans are significant to an interdimensional.
Oh, like on a one-on-one basis?
Let's just say no. I'm talking about okay, it might be make it easier. One on one to an interdimensional, and you would come in contact with a small group. Let's just say there are three interdimensionals from the same that come upon three humans.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a significant, or would they say like a human walking by ants or a human walking by a rabbit? You know.
Most of the time, if they are even, here's the thing, that's not like they're always aware of you either. You know, oftentimes people think that because we can't see them that they must be able to just see us all the time. That's not the case. I would there was I think I was telling you a few months ago, I'm pumping gas and this interdimensional thing starts walking towards me. I see it. It hadn't even seen me yet. It wasn't until I went, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Because and that's when it was like, "Oh, you see me?" Yeah, and you see me, let just walk ahead. Keep going as long as, we have no problems. So they might see us, they might not see us because they might be operating in multi dimensions. They could be walking around two or three dimensions at the same time. Why would we be in their eyesight, right? But let's take the example of three interdimensionals and three humans somehow intersect, and both parties are aware of each other. Are the interdimensionals like gonna care much about the humans? Most likely not as much as the humans will. If the humans are able to see them, the humans will freak out. The interdimensionals, not as much. Do they watch? Are they curious sometimes? Yes. But do all of them do like some huge freak out like a human would? Probably not. Probably not. They watch. They might, stand there and be like, wow, what are these humans doing? But it's because they're used to it. They're used to it. That's their nature. Hopping around, seeing stuff, exploring, seeing multiple things all the time. That's not our nature. So therefore, to us, it's foreign, and what's foreign is scary.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay, ready for this one?
What I want to hear what you think, Lucky. I want to hear what do you think?
Oh,
Yeah. See.
yeah. Well, that's very short. I don't think an interdimensional has much of a care. Like I said, a rabbit. I have walked by a rabbit and almost stepped on it because it basically did not see me because and then I did not see it. But again, you're right. For me, if I was the rabbit, um, I am evil to a rabbit, human being,
Mm-hmm.
predator.
Right.
So if again the human is represented a rabbit, all interdimensionals are going to be evil because they're scary. They're big. They're
There are
another
all
thing is
sorts of things. Yeah. Yeah.
I also for interdimensionals I don't think that they're size wise that we are. I think they
Mm-mm.
appear as small and big because of our 3D perspective.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I have seen really big ones and really small ones, and both of them are like, sorry about it. I'll try to make it clearer to you.
Yeah.
To them,
Right.
size is one of the things that they have to try to control as much as we try to speak in a clear tone. To them, it's appearing in the right way.
But it's interesting to me though. So I agree with you with the size thing. They're usually very big or they're small, right? Um, but you kind of reference to humans now as like ants, the rabbits, this and that. Do you think, because you had just asked me like a minute ago, are we kind of, are we important to these other beings?
See, that's also your perspective. You're putting your perspective. I find ants, spiders, bugs Rabbits fascinating. I'm the kind of guy to go
Okay.
lean over and pick up ants and go, oh, or if there's a wasp nest near my house, to move the wasp nest to preserve them and to use them. So, yes, I find everything significant. While other humans, oh my God, kill it with fire.
Okay. Well, I
So,
was
yeah,
just
so
making sure because there's so many
my
times.
perspective is different. See, that's another thing is that my baggage, my perspective is going to be not normal for other people. So, that's the
Well,
tough things that I have.
Lucky, do you know how many times I hear, especially in talks like this, a fellow human say stuff like, well, we're just ants. Like compared to the angels, or compared to this, or compared to that, we're just ants. And I'm like, who are you talking to? I ain't no ant. Like, I don't, I know
But,
there's a
but
very old school way of teaching this stuff, a very old school way. Well, you know what? Great awakening. You're not an ant. Like, so I just wanted to clarify that.
but we are ants. What do ants do? They work together, they build, they have society. What are we in cities? We build, we have, so it's all perspective. And that's the problem, and which is why I said at the beginning, we're bringing our own perspectives to the
Yeah.
discussion.
For
And
someone like you, yes, I understand where
so,
you're coming from. The majority, though, Lucky, when they say we're just ants, it means that we are insignificant.
but that's also their
Yeah.
baggage. It's not
Yeah.
just that. There's also going to be more to that story. So you'd have to pull out to say,
It's the
what,
teachings. I've
what does ants,
asked.
yeah, well, yeah.
It's who is they those are old school way of teaching. I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter what religion. It does not matter what religion, even though there's aspects in most scriptures that talk about how we will judge the angels, but the majority of like any religion, let's talk about the angels or the gods, like the Greek gods, any of them, right? Somehow we were below them. That's still the teaching, and it's not accurate.
Well,
Like
that's the
we are the
control.
ants to the gods and the angels. No, we're not. If you want to consider yourself an ant, go for it. I don't. I don't
No,
consider
well,
myself an ant.
again, it's baggage. That the definition thing, that's another problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the Greek gods, that whole thing was about controlling the population. It
Yeah,
was
right.
100%.
But do
That
you
yeah.
do you think that we are lower? Let's say, do you think out of any, I don't care if it's elementals, if it's interdimensionals, if it's gods, demigods, the giants, the angels, any of that. Do you think that we are lower than them?
See, that's your problem from my point of view. I see nothing as lower. If I
Neither do I.
well, that's if I reincarnated into an ant, that is part of my journey, and that is not going down. Which is for Buddhist or for
Right,
other religion.
right.
I know my
Native.
wife. Let's say my wife. If you reincarnate into an ant, that is a punishment. But
Yes,
for
the
me, it's all
Buddhist
part
way
of
it
the
is.
lesson, the journey, where I would probably, if I were reincarnated in an ant, it was probably like, oh, good, I have to learn how to be social and work with others. That would be part of a lesson. So, do I see as humans as lower than angels? No, I see us working together. I work with angels, and
You
do I
do though
see?
know that the majority are taught that and see it that way though.
I don't care what the majority thinks. I
I
can just
know, but
express
you
and
just
try to
told me at the
teach them.
beginning that this is a discussion to help people learn.
But I
So now
can't.
you're like, I don't care what those people think.
No, but again, I can't. There's so many different kinds of mindsets. I can only express the mindset that we have on the table. I can only put some things on the table. I can't
Oh,
put
I get
everything
what
on
you're
the table
saying.
because
Okay.
if we have a
I get what
Thanksgiving
you're
dinner,
saying.
people are just going to get tired and they're going to miss everything.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So just Cordy, talk only about what you believe. And Lucky will only talk about what he thinks and
No,
believes.
I think we should
Right.
just have a nice little discussion and maybe an argument once in a while to make it interesting.
I know. This is probably, man, if people knew what happens between us. Well, they're knowing now.
I mean, this. Well, let's go with the.
And nice looking glasses, buddy. Those are new. I like those.
No, no, there. I have multiple. I break them. I break them, and I have backups for everything. I usually buy them in packs of four, so that if I break something, like, oh, these are good. I'm gonna buy more just so I have them. Um, so elementals. Can you have 2D elementals and 5D elementals, or are they all?
Oh, are there?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said the wrong word. Interdimensionals. Can you
Is it?
have 2D interdimensionals, and can you have also 5, 6, 7D interdimensionals? Can there be different kinds? Can there be interdimensionals that are lower than us 3D dimension people, individuals, beings? Did I break you?
No. But I'm trying to answer this without then having to go through all the dimensions. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a big question,
No, 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 no,
right?
no, no,
So
no. You have a
I
class
had
on
to
that. No,
I know, so I
no,
had
no.
to like
It's
pause
it's
and be
it's
like,
it's it's not a hard question. You're making it
I know.
complicated. It's not a hard
Um,
question.
so
It's a
yes,
yes or no.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
And are the 2D interdimensionals? Yeah. Are they evil?
2D.
Yes.
It's the same. 2D is really think thought base. Think more of like where your thought forms are actually created, and emotions, a lot of emotion based stuff. That's the energy that kind of plays out there. It's like imagine the bottom of the ocean. Like we have no idea what's really going on down there, but it's definitely full of a lot of water. So it's kind of like that. So what was your question? So is it are
Are
they?
2 dimensionals evil? 2 dimensional in are 2 dimensional beings
No,
evil?
I would say because here's the thing. Like, so I had a teacher once that kind of explained 2D to me as also about beyond just all the standard teaching out there. That it is kind of where our thoughts go, where our thoughts go to die, where our dreams go to die, where our hopes and fears and everything when we start healing and changing and growing go to die, right? But then they kind of can be recycled into new thought form beings. So, are they good? Are they bad? Que sera sera. It depends on the energy that is present, and the ones and so you can travel through things, but that's kind of it's not 2D's not really a thing for us to even. Did that make sense? Did that? You asked if they were evil. There, it kind of goes back to the same question of it depends on your perspective of things, right? I mean, there's not quote unquote good and bad, evil and good or whatever. It's just what is that being? What is that frequency? What is that energy that creates that being, right? And then its job. I think that's the biggest thing here that I guess we're trying to discover and say is every being, human, non-human, interdimensional, planetarily, all of it, galactic, all of it, elemental, thought forms, all of it is they're energy based beings, right? It doesn't matter if they're an elemental from the earth based stuff or not. It's so first, what is the energy that created it? Because remember, all energy is actually neutral until something gives it an identifying marker.
That's
So
everything to me. Yes. That's how
exactly.
I think about
So
everything. Yes.
right. So you could a being could be created. Okay, we have an elemental or we have an interdimensional. It's created. Well, if then something else or whoever created it out of whatever, form out of the formless, then oftentimes that energy is going to get some kind of identifying marker put on it, and then that plays out with cause and effect as to kind of the reason I brought up like with the elementals Like when I brought up the jinn, some of the elementals of today, and trust me, lucky too, things are going to be opening up and cracking open, that a whole lot of elementals that we have not seen for thousands of years are going to start showing up again. And so here's the thing. At first, when the world was just them and they're living and they're fine, and maybe some animals, maybe some dinosaurs, what have you, I don't know, maybe they were just a middle of the road elemental. And over time, having to hide, over time, watching its loved ones, because maybe it had a family, get burned and killed and stomped over time of centuries. Well, now, just like a human would, it's angry, it's mean, it's ready to get you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's because the energy will change with the cause and effect that being lives. This was a very long answer for I don't remember the question.
I don't think it matters. It was just a 2D whether 2D is evil, and it
Oh
was yes.
Lord.
It was a yes or no question.
Oh Lord. Oh, I hope people are having fun in the chat at least.
And
I really
your
hope
answer
that.
was it depends, which is acceptable answer. And I think that oh no, these are too much.
Yeah, that was my answer for yes or no.
Yeah. Um
Oh man. These poor people. Happy Friday night, folks.
I'm see, we don't have time for demons and angels because that's a whole different thing. And we cuz no. We're going a different direction.
I don't even know what I don't even feel like we even discussed anything.
Well, that's see, I need you to take everything we discussed before and put it aside. And we're going to
Okay.
start a new question.
Okay.
Do
Will
you
do.
believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
Good. That's a yes or no question.
Mhm.
Okay, when a human dies, a human, run of the real human, what is reincarnated? The spirit or the soul?
Oh, lucky. Cuz I'm thinking about all the different theories of this are running through my head now,
No,
so I'm going to
no.
try to just
I
go,
need you to
what does
give me
Courtney?
Courtney.
Yes,
I
Courtney's.
don't need definitely we need
Right.
definitions from books in internet and
Right.
other people in gurus out the window. I want you to tell me, oh, actually first, do you believe the spirit and the soul are two different things?
Yes.
And okay, so when a human dies and part is reincarnated, what is reincarnated, the spirit or the soul?
Well, if you have a human that their spirit and soul are connected and they've lived a life with both, then it would reincarnate with both. But if you have a human with just, oh, this is going to be, I'm trying to, I'm trying to,
No, you can be
um,
wrong. Go
no, no,
ahead.
no, no, it's not that. I'm trying to like sum it up. So if you have a human that has been interacting and living with its spirit and soul throughout that life, the both would then move forward together. But there are lots of humans that have a soul and don't have a spirit. So that soul can also reincarnate,
So that's
but
not good. That goes on a whole different tangent,
I
though.
know. See, that's the problem is how do you say stuff without going into what do you think, Lucky?
Well, that's very easy for me. Very easy because who are the individuals, the ghosts that I meet every day? Well, those are the spirits from people who died from violence. Their soul reincarnated, went to heaven, went off to be reincarnated. Their spirit was left here because it didn't have it had to finish its job. They separated. They broke apart. But the soul can go into another thing and pick up a new spirit, new spiritual energy, while the conscious spirit was left here. But again, people use spirit and soul interchangeably, but they're
Oh,
not the
do
same.
they?
My camera's gone nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's because we're moving. We're talking with our hands. It's Friday night. Yeah.
So this is the tough thing is what, and the answer to this, I have no idea. I've been thinking about this going, okay, spirit and soul are different. Okay, I established that. I'm good. I'm good with that. Now, wait a second. Reincarnation. What happens? Is it real? Yes, reincarnation is real. Okay, what happens to the spirit? What happens to the soul? Which one gets reincarnated? And then you're saying they go together. They're hand in hand. They go together.
They can if they lived together in a normal process. Good,
Well,
but
you
then,
also said that some people don't have spirit and they
well,
have a
see,
soul but no
you
spirit.
and I have a two different. I have a different idea what spirit is. That's the spark for me. That has nothing to do with ghost.
Oh, so you believe the NPCs have souls but no spirits?
Yes. Because here's the thing. You also just brought up the Buddhist belief, right? You said your wife is Buddhist, and so if she were to reincarnate into an
Oh
ant,
God.
she'd be pissed about that because that does mean she did something wrong, right? That is what they believe. Here's the thing that I will add to this in this form. Consciousness. Do I believe in reincarnation? Yes. Do I believe that I now as a human with a spirit and a soul, spark and a soul that have lived out with my consciousness, do I believe that when I reincarnate, I can go back to being a dolphin, a dog, anything like that? No, because it has to do with conscious level. And I'm not saying the other animals and things like that are not a part of our system and we're not connected. Truly believe we are all connected. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I have a higher conscious level than your regular housefly. I have a higher conscious level than that, right? Not saying we're not connected. So you can't take a conscious level that is going up and up and up, let's say we call it ascension, right? And then revert it back to the basics. You can't do it. So it's, for me, you talk spirit and soul, when for me, it's more important to talk consciousness.
So consciousness is spirit.
Well, not exactly. No. Spirit
So
is,
consciousness is separate than spirit and soul. You have
yeah,
consciousness, you have spirit, you have soul.
it's the Trinity within, baby.
So is can a person have spirit and soul and still no consciousness? Yes or no?
Yes.
What the? I'm not going to swear.
People,
I don't see
well, wait,
that
wait.
as
You said, can somebody have spirit and soul and no consciousness?
yes.
Okay, sorry. I interpret that differently. Can somebody still have a consciousness with no spirit and soul? Yes. Not
Oh
vice
no,
versa.
I
Sorry,
agree.
not
I
vice
see.
versa.
I agree. I get you. You can have consciousness, or you can have spirit, or you can have soul. These people can exist. I don't know how they can exist, but yes, I agree. They can
I think
exist.
you can have consciousness and soul. You can have consciousness, soul, and spirit. But you can't have a consciousness, or, yeah,
Without.
you can't have, right, without one of those other two involved.
So you don't believe a person can be conscious is if they don't have a spirit or they don't have a soul.
No, they're just a. That's when you come into play with the NPC stuff. That's not consciousness. Just because they can drive a car, just because they can do the accounting, just because they can do all sorts of stuff,
They're
that
not
is not
conscious,
consciousness.
but
That is
they
not right.
they would so they can not have consciousness, put the consciousness off the side. They can have spirit, just spirit, no soul, no consciousness. Can they exist?
And a human, I don't think I've ever seen it. And a human? Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I forgot what I went. So you have, huh? Because consciousness needs to go with one of the two, right?
Yes, it has to be either with a soul or a spark or a spirit.
So no matter what, if you, God, it just gets complicated.
Mm-hmm. See, I've known plenty of people that had a consciousness and had a soul. I've known plenty of people that had only um, a soul. I think how do you see soul? What do you see soul as? That didn't really
Oh,
have consciousness. Do you see what I'm trying to say? What do you think soul is?
well, see, I believe it's kind of you can't have a soul without having the consciousness and spirits. I believe it's kind of like
Mm.
a set of
You
things.
asked
So
about human. Human. So,
yeah.
do you
So
think
what
there
am I
can
talking
be.
about?
No, okay. Do you think that there can be a meat suit that doesn't necessarily have a consciousness? And I don't mean motor
No,
functions and
no.
programming.
You can't have if you don't if you have a soul, you need consciousness. If you have a spirit, you need consciousness. You cannot have consciousness without a spirit or soul.
Right.
I agree. Yes,
Right.
that is true.
Right.
But then the other side is that can you have a soul without consciousness? And you say yes.
What do you think a soul is? That's my question. What do you think the soul is? Not the spirit, not the consciousness. What do you think soul is?
What do I think soul
Yeah,
is?
I'm curious.
I think the soul is it's not the consciousness, because consciousness is the day to day. It is the existence where you can reflect back on yourself. I think consciousness is you're aware of being, existing, while
Mm.
soul is that you're aware of who you are. I think honestly, the people who have the inner dialogue, I think are those who have been tasked with the soul. And if you don't have the inner dialogue, I'm not sure if they have a soul.
How about so this is what I think. This is what I so this will make it easier to understand where I'm coming from. When we talk spirit, that's more of like for me the spark, the divine within. Not everybody's got the divine within, right? The soul is the energy. It is the energy being that is within you. It is the first energy that you were, right? So it knows that it is connected to all things and it can move forward and it can do many things. So I do think a human can have a soul but not be using any consciousness. I do believe that because oftentimes these meat suits do get filled with something and it is some kind of energy form that was once created. Now, could it be from like the Sumerian text that they just created AI humans to dig for gold? Yes, but over time, through repopulating love, all these human qualities that we have that are more, you know, human based, all of that stuff over time, did energy become attached and within and start to form itself anew? Yes, I do think so. But those are people that are with uh, the divine attached to it and without consciousness in a higher form of other than they dig for gold. So that's why, for me, soul is the energy base that's within the body system.
Yeah, that that's a tangent in of itself.
I know, bro.
Because you mentioned Sumerian, and I don't believe any of that is true.
I do believe there are humans that
No, I
eh,
believe this. All the Sumerian texts are mistranslations. I believe that guy.
yes.
I believe he messed up everything because the real translations are totally different. Because we now
Yeah.
have computers that were able to figure this out and then use
Yes.
people. So, but what the what was his name? It doesn't matter his name. His name, he was a priest, Father Malachi, whatever the hell he was. he mistranslated a lot of stuff. Ancient Aliens is based off of it, and it's messed up everything.
It has. It has. I guess I to use as a reference to make a point is still good,
Yeah, I
because the
understand.
point is to believe that all humans were created by like this one divine God, Father, source. That's inaccurate. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is it's not all that we make humans all the time. It's what we do now, isn't it? So it's not all that flipping hard. You know what I'm saying? There's another one being born right now. It's not that hard. So not all humans living here were have that God spark and created with a more of a divine plan associated with them. It's energy being formed over time, right? So that's more higher dimensional stuff. What 7-dimensional beings, that's just creating form out of the formless. Don't think they didn't do some stuff, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. How is the chat doing tonight, Lucky? Can you see it?
I see, and they've asked several questions,
Oh,
and
have they?
I,
Oh,
I,
well,
I, I've
go to the chat. Let's do that.
no. We've gone too far as it is. We've been almost an hour, and
We've gone too far.
I,
I
I,
was
I
13 minutes late. Well, I wasn't late. We were having computer problems. One more. Do at least do somebody from the chat. That's nice because we said we would. It's
no,
live
I
on
didn't.
Friday.
This is you're not running this show. I do not. I am one of the things that you've got to learn about me, that I don't take was it the group mindset? Nah, I don't need that.
Oh no,
I the chat is its own
it's
little thing in
going.
there.
It's
Look at
going. Well, I'm
I
happy
mean,
that they're going.
yeah, they've had several really good points. Sumerian Sons had some really good things,
Oh, good. I love them.
and
Yes.
Seeker of
Yeah.
Truth has had some really important stuff.
Cool.
But
Cool.
I missed the really good ones because
Because we were
it
talking.
there was some. I wish I could tag. Oh, if I was
Yeah.
like Robert, I could.
Yeah.
Oh
We'll
my
get
god, I
better
could
at
have.
this. So, Lucky, ask them. I think people had fun. So, we need to do this at
Yes,
least.
Jargo Smith. I'm calling you a dumbass. That's what I'm doing.
Hello, Jargo. At least once a month. We need to definitely be going live. We need to get more subscribers over at Stars of the Morning Light so we can go live over there.
Oh, see, this is where I forgot. I
I
wanted to start
know.
with your. You have that. Why am I lost? I got a blank. You have your show. Your
Yes. So anybody who's new here that doesn't know me, I'm Courtney, host of Stars of the Morning Light. Go on over and subscribe to that channel. Cool, thanks, cheers. I also, if there's anybody listening in the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama area, I am hosting a huge 2-day holistic fair next week, April 27th and 28th in Ringgold, Georgia. It's called New Earth Energy Market. Lucky, I didn't get to tell you, Crazy Flute's coming back on Saturday. So both days we have belly dancing starting at 3 and Crazy Flute, which you all enjoyed that little short I did last year of Crazy playing. They're coming back on Saturday. Native flute player that won a bunch of awards before. Love Crazy Flute. So yeah, big event. New Earth Energy Market, April 27th and 28th in Ringgold, Georgia. And I am Courtney from Stars of the Morning Light. And yes, we talk about this kind of stuff quite often. Lucky, I had a lot of fun because lately we've been talking about like a lot of emotional based stuff and relationships based stuff on our
yes,
Fridays.
yes,
Yeah. I
and
like
I
that we
also would.
changed it up.
I also talk about my own physical stupidity, and my
Yes.
and this is just
Stupid.
I like talk about subjects that are so outside, and I spent different days, writing down different things that I can do, and I still didn't get half of it.
So we never
Uh,
got to angels and demons. So we need to do that.
we
We
can't go
definitely
into
need to do. I
angels
know,
and
not right
demons are a
now.
whole.
I don't feel like I even talked about elementals or interdimensionals well enough.
No,
So
you talked a lot. You talked a lot.
I hope everybody else laughed at that too. Of course, Courtney, you talked a lot.
You thought so, but the point is,
Yeah, I know.
you have things that you want to hit, and
Yeah,
for me, that's why I write everything down.
yeah,
But again,
yeah.
my script is way. I'm off script a lot. But there was
That's
something I
groovy,
wanted to
man.
get back
So then
into.
next time we gotta
Oh,
just
we
do
can't go in
angels
that
and
either.
demons. That's it. Angels and demons. That's it.
And Egregores.
Well, I kind of talked about I kind of talked about egregores, kind of tonight. Is there one last easy question?
Just no. It's the chat
Do you
is.
have any one last easy question to satisfy the Friday night curiosity?
I think the most important thing is that yeah, it's not easy though. Can you work with an element? Can an individual work with an elemental? If someone runs into an elemental, can they do spirit work? Can they do soul work? Can they do spell work with an elemental?
Depending on the elemental, yes. You can also
No,
do yard work with
no.
elementals.
Well, no, it depends on
Do
the
you mean like
person.
communicating? Well, yes. Okay. Well,
This,
depending on the person and the elemental, yeah.
no, because no, elementals to me, anyone who wants to work with these things, they have to know their shit. And a lot of people get into
Mm.
this stuff and get hurt. Which,
Oh, that, yes. That would have been a side note to me saying, yes, you can. But if we really went into it, oh, no, you need to
I don't
know
want
what
to.
you're doing and be able to identify things. You need to also know your own authority. And honestly, you don't really need them. But if you want to play that game, you can. But it's a tricky business. If
See,
it's spell work and stuff, when you said, can you work with an elemental? Do you know what my thought was? Yeah, you can ask any elemental what you should plant right there in your ground. They'll know what to plant. Your idea of work and my
that
idea of work
that
is
is
that
that
was
is good.
where
That
the
is
you see what I'm saying?
no that see that, but that's more of
Having a
collabing.
friendship and just communicating.
That's collabing rather
Yes, right.
than
I know
because
what you're
usually
talking about, and
yeah
I don't
that's
suggest it because I've known so many people that um, are, they really need proper training. You really,
that's
really need proper training.
that's what I was
That's
going for.
so that's okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, in my garden, sure, I'll talk to,
You
but
can
no,
yeah, I can
right.
collaborate with
That
anything,
you
right?
need serious, proper
Oh
training for.
boy.
Is it possible? Yes. Serious training for? Definitely.
Oh, I got one more. I got one
Oh,
more. We've gone too far, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drop this bomb. Am I naive or oblivious? Why do evil entities not interact with me?
oh,
You've commented that you've met demons and they've been
yeah.
scary. For me, not a one. I've seen them, but they avoid me like the plague. Why?
Because they probably can't get anything from you, sweetheart. Because you would be able to identify them as what they are before they could do anything to you. So what's the point? What's the point? You would be useless to them. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's they will be attracted to those that they can get something from, or even take over, depending on what we're talking about. Like if we're talking
So
about demons and whatnot, but you would identify it
no,
before these,
this is where it becomes tough. Why do they interact with you? Why do they deal with you? Why do the negative entities deal with you?
They did when I was young because I lived in a really horrible home, and so they were hoping to persuade me. Um, they It's not that they so much interact with me anymore. All my stuff's on lockdown. When I was young, it was in hope to persuade me to ride that wave, right? To go towards them. Because any kid in my situation, with the complexities inside the household would definitely. And the only thing that really saved my ass is my parents kept saying, Courtney, just choose the light. Just choose the light. We don't care what you do, just choose the light. Right? Well, then at times I had to just be that way and be like, I'm just choosing light. I don't even know what the hell means, but I'm just choosing the light. So that was really more so what was going on in my youth. And, just home stuff, right? And environment stuff, because my house was very active. Um, Later in life, it's not so much that they choose to interact with me, it's that they're attached to other people. Let's say I go to do Reiki on someone and they got this big bad mama jamma, and I speak to that person's higher self, and it's like, do you want this gone? Does it need to be gone? Do I need to cut all of these cords and ask this being to completely be removed? Walk away. I mean, just walk away, right? Like, you're done feeding here, you can move on. So it's not so much they mess with me, it's that I can see them. And I definitely, if they're attached to other people that it needs to be gone, I can do that. I also have to clean houses for people. So it's more so in my life now, it's not like they're seeking me out. It's that I'm in that line of work that people have attachments, people have these things going on. And because I can see and I know how to deal with them, because there were times in my life that, well, I rode too close, right? I rode too close to possibly going that way. And so I do know a lot of that. I know a lot about that world. I know a lot about that world. Um, and I'm happy my parents repeatedly told me to choose the light, because eventually I went, oh, that's what that means, right? Um, so it's not that I seek them out, they don't seek me out. I'm in that line of work. Yeah.
And finally, an individual with a negative entity attachment, it was part of their responsibility. They picked it up. It was under their control.
Not necessarily. No. No. I know a lot of damaged people that something happened when they were young. I know a lot of people that were born into the wrong families. I know a lot of people that,
So
yeah,
you say that people without choice, there are people who are consciousness, who have conscious, who have spirit and soul, who have a negative attachment that wasn't under their control.
yeah. A lot of them don't even know. A lot of them don't even know. I mean, imagine something happening to a 6-year-old, right?
Yeah,
Did
but 6 year olds is the parents' responsibility.
No, think of a Navy. Okay, think that something happened to a 6-year-old, right? It happens. An
I don't
attachment
think it
can.
does. I don't think it does.
Okay, a 6-year-old can be molested. Lucky, I don't think you're following where I'm going.
No, okay, but
And an
okay,
attachment can happen in that process.
I,
That
yes,
6-year-old
but that
then is now
attachment,
26. That attachment is still there.
the attachment is part of them, and it's their choice to hold it. You say it's not their
They
choice.
don't. You're not
I say,
listening to what I'm saying. They're not aware it's there because you
I think,
grew up your whole life. And it does take knowing what to do with it. It does take having the awareness. It does take a lot of different things in factor. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that have attachments that are not aware of it at all. And so I see what you're saying, but how can you do something about it or make a choice if you're not even aware of it?
but that's the thing. I don't see that. I think that
Who's aware
everyone
of
is.
it then?
I think they're all aware of it. I think every single one with an attachment is aware of the attachment.
How can that even be? No way, dude. No
Then
way.
how can some people not be aware of it?
Because they're it's
How can you not
who
be aware of something?
because we all have influences. We all have things. Have you never walked into a house and the mother has an attachment, the father has an attachment, the whole damn house is full of crap? Have you ever
Yes,
walked into a house like that, right?
yes, and
You
that's
think,
and then I can't stay too long because I end up having to leave.
okay, you think those people choose that?
I think every single one of them chose that path.
What, before they were born?
I don't see that's another. Oh God, see that
How could
no,
they choose that if they don't even believe that that stuff exists?
because
How
they
could they
do.
choose that?
How can that
Who's
be attached to the
choosing? Who's choosing? Like who's
every?
choosing the spirit, the soul, the consciousness? Because I really do they choose
Yes,
before they get here?
no, they choose. They choose to hold on to that attachment. I believe attachments are
That
two
where's the
sided.
compassion in that, Lucky? I'm not going to. No, I don't agree. Do you know how many children I meet? They have attachments and they don't know. How does
But
a child make a decision like that? And then how does a child become aware and go, oh, I don't want this attachment? I mean, this is not, no, dude, not at all. You're coming at it as a very logical black and white when a lot of attachments come out of pain, misery, abuse, violence,
but
death,
that is
all
a
sorts of things.
but
Fear,
that's what brought it to there. But to
right.
keep the attachment with them, they're aware of it. They have in order for the attachment to be there, there has to be some awareness. Attachments can't just be there without
It
the
is. Okay, okay,
plausible
okay,
deniability.
finally I know
There
what you
is
mean.
plausible.
Finally I know what you mean.
The attachment is always going to be there. They're going to be interacting with it.
But what does that matter then when you live the so okay. They might have I think I know what you are trying to say. That in order to release it, which there's actually more things that have to happen there, especially if it's one that likes to feed off you. You don't just let it go. You don't just let them go. That's not how it works with all of them. So let's say you are a person that gets an attachment by the time they're like 12 years old. You have a few of them, right?
Hmm.
Do you have a little bit of maybe awareness as you're saying, right?
I
You
don't think
might
it's a little bit. I don't think it's a little bit.
it
It's going to
doesn't
come.
matter because then you're trying to live life. Hear me out. It wouldn't matter because you're in pain anyways. Something happened. You're in pain. You're in pain. You can't get any help. You can't get any help. You can't get any help. By the time you're 15, you're a drug addict. You can't get any help. You can't get any help. So the, oh, maybe I have one doesn't matter because you're just trying to survive every day. So life comes before anything like that.
Yes.
So you can't, it's not, and like I also just said, Lucky, a lot of them, no, more has to be at play than just, oh, bye, I don't want you anymore. A lot more has to be at play. And then that person also has to be strong enough, have enough authority, enough conviction in them, enough confidence in them to go tell it to get away. How many people do you know have confidence like that? Especially ones that lived with an attachment their whole life.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem. I don't think a lot of people with attachments. It's what they know, so they let it stay.
Right. You think it's a choice when I'm trying to say a lifelong of it. That's not a choice then. Because you don't know any different. And yes, somebody like
But
me
but
has to
that makes
come
them.
in and show you that there's something different. That life can be different. Because if you're born into it, it's been there your whole life. You don't know different until you experience different. And that's what I help with. That's it. That's it. because I can get them gone without having to anything. But that's because I know what I'm doing. And then they get to experience something different. Think about like my karma, my timeline cleanses. You're getting rid of all that negative energy within a timeline, within your you know, just removing that energy. Everyone. I've never had somebody not say, yeah, it changed me. It changed me. So I can come in, remove these attachments. If that person's higher self, you might have missed that part. I have to ask that person's higher self first. Am I allowed to remove this? Is it ready to let go of this? Are they ready to live a different life? And if the person's higher self says, "Go for it, Courtney," I will remove that. Right?
So now we've
So all
established
new
what you can
energy,
do.
all new what?
I was trying to pull out information from you to demonstrate what you can and can't do.
Oh shit, you're such an ass. You're an
So
asshole, man.
I like Court's answer. I agree with Court on this. Yes and no is a
Asshole.
choice. Yes.
You're an
So
asshole, man.
no, this isn't mine. This I you got to understand what I do is influenced by others. But yes, let's say my own personal attachments, they're not negative, but they're a pain in the ass. But they go, you've got to push this.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
so we've gone well past what I was expecting.
we have
But if we're going to continue these live streams with me, you got to understand that sometimes I'm going to be challenging you.
that's fine. That's fine. I
I'm
got
going to
real
be
passionate though. Did you see that? Because
pushing.
I'm thinking of the kids. I'm thinking about the grown-ups. I'm thinking about all these people that's like they don't know the difference yet. Wait until they do. Like you
So
felt like I'm getting very passionate. So sorry, folks,
no,
if that was too much passion for you.
no. See, the point is that I can play the. I don't want to say that. I can play the part of the asshole just to get you to pull out and answer the full because you've got to tell people what you can do.
Mm,
And you're very, I don't want to say shy, but to push your abilities is not your goal. But
yes.
these things need to be demonstrated. And long video, I don't know how far
Well, I
this
guess I
gets.
appreciate that then. It was kind of a
But
backdoor way of doing it, but okay,
no,
because you know
but
me, because you know I would just, yeah, I know.
I've got to push the envelope, and
Yeah,
sometimes conflict gets the pure answers, and
yeah,
that's what people need to hear. And
yeah.
especially if an ass starts saying things like, "What the fuck is this person doing?" Which I gotta be careful with this. Okay, we've gone far.
We have.
I just want to say that the goal of this video is to remain judgment free. There is no wrong answers. We are discussing these topics using our opinions. To understand a topic, we need to study it from new and unfamiliar viewpoints. This can involve thinking in ways you're not used to and might require you to accept ideas not in alignment with your own core beliefs. We're only
Right.
discussing concepts and core beliefs, and it's our own personal perspectives. We're not concerned with traditional definitions, book discussions, information from the internet, or what others believe is true. Boom. So
Boom.
this is just open conversation.
And I hope YouTube keeps it. I just realized, what if YouTube says no? But I think we had a good discussion and everything as well.
I don't have problems with YouTube, and if I do, they tell me, hey, be careful. And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Lots of
everyone,
weird stuff said.
but nothing too extreme, nothing
Okay.
um, too
Mean.
questionable. And there's no
Yeah.
music, so we can't get in trouble for that yet.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
no personal content, no other person's content. This is all mine. This is all my stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
read from the book.
Originals.
This is all my stuff that I wrote myself,
Yes,
and I think
originals.
that's the idea. If you original stuff, they can't get you. They might try.
That's right.
So, everyone, go in peace. Thank you all. Sorry, I went over a half an hour.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
okay. Oh, we
Andromeda.
lost you entirely now.
Wow,
You,
what'd you do that for? Come on.
it's all your attachments, Lucky.
What the hell?
I think you
Come on,
moved your
camera.
camera.
Camera. Camera.
As Lucky fades away. I guess Lucky's trying to say goodbye, guys. I don't know where he went, but I can leave. So, have a great Friday.
Have a great Friday, everybody. Andromeda 7's on. Go see them. I'm sorry for overstaying, but have a great night, everyone. Go in peace. Love your neighbor. Treat children right. Don't kick the dog. Be loving and happy, and be good to everybody. Good night,
Amen.
everyone.
Good night.